Panda. I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family. Credit cards and the scammers, hitting the licks in the band. Legacy.
So again, good afternoon. I am Engineer Samuel Estudario, for your instructor for Trigonometry. So this is our lecture number 1. It's all about angles. So an angle kuno is determined by rotating a ray or a half line about its endpoints. Okay, say if you have a line kuno and you are to rotate this one about its endpoints, this one will go being rotated. So the displacement from here to here is called your angle. Most of the angle is denoted by theta. Kumbaga, we name that angle as theta because we don't know its measurement, so we denote them as theta. It's similar in your algebra. If you don't know the value, you just denote those value as x or any of the letters. Okay, in trigonometry naman, we're gonna be using Greek letters such as alpha, beta, gamma, and theta, and so on and so forth. So if you ever wondered for those na mga fraternities, the name of the fraternities, diba, you have if I don't know if you know about the alpha, phi, omega. So the alpha, phi, and omega, those are Greek letters from the Greek alphabet. Okay? So theta is one of the letters of the Greek alphabet. So similar again to algebra, we denote them if we denote them with the Greek letters if we don't know the value of the angle. Okay, so an angle has a starting point of the ray. The starting point of the ray is the initial side. Like for example, we have this one. This one is called the initial side. Initial side. And the position after the rotation is called the terminal side. This one is the terminal side. And we also have our sign convention. So for counterclockwise rotation, meaning for counterclockwise rotation, it generates positive angles. Positive kuno ito yan. And conversely, for clockwise rotation, it generates negative angles. So counterclockwise positive, clockwise negative. Okay? There are two ways in order for us to measure angles. Those are radians and degrees. So for radians, okay, you determine kuno the measure of an angle by the amount of rotation from the initial side to the terminal side. Yes, that's the general notion if we are to measure an angle. And 1 radian is the measure of the central angle that intercepts an arc S equal to the length of the radius of the circle. Okay, a radian is basically a ratio between the length of the arc S and its radius. S is for the length of the arc generated, length of the arc, and R is the radius. Say, for example, for this one, we have an initial side, and it is to be rotated. And the final location or the terminal side is somewhere here. Due to its rotation, you created an arc. Okay? And the ratio between the length of that arc and its radius, kumbaga, if this is a circle, if we try to continue this one for the whole revolution, if this is a circle, this has a radius, and this is its radius. 1 radian daw kuno is equivalent to the ratio of this, okay, na equal an iya length and iya radius with its arc. So, if that theta is equal to S over R, and these are equal, if these are equal, this can be written as S over S or R over R. And both of those are equal to 1. That is 1 radian. 1 radian is equal to the ratio between the arc and the radius. The length of the arc is equal to its radius. Okay, that will be called a radian or 1 radian. Okay, and the measurement or the measure of 1 revolution of a circle in radian is called 2 pi radian. Meaning, sa kabirik nimo, narati mo circle, is 2 pi radian. 1 radian, okay, kung itiya arc is same with its radius, that is 1 radian. And a total revolution is 2 pi radian. Okay? So, kung kato nga ay revolution, edi 2 pi over 2. That is pi radian. 1/2 of the revolution, you just divide 2 pi for the whole revolution, divide 2. That is pi radian. So, if you have if you have a whole revolution, so half of that revolution is pi radian. This is pi radian. This is pi radian. Okay? And 1/6 of the revolution, you just divide that one by 6. And for these are the common angles. This is pi over 6 radian, pi over 4 radian, pi over 3 radian, pi and 2 pi radian. Pi over 4 radian is just, I mean, this is, you are to divide pi by 4. If we're going to use muna the sign convention, we know that pi is equivalent to 180 degrees. So if you divide pi by 4, 180 divided by 4, that is 45 degrees. So what if you did that? And if you divide this one by 2, if it's pi over 2, pi over 2 is 90 degrees. Okay. That is pi over 2 and pi over 4. But more on that later. Radians. Angles between 0 to pi over 2, as I've said earlier, pi over 2 is, di ba kung amo init imo pi, so ikato nga ito, pi over 2, right? It is 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and this one is 2 pi. Kung sa kabirik, again, is 2 pi. Kung sa kalibot, is 2 pi. 0 kuno to pi over 2 are called acute angles. Less than this limit, right here, are acute angles. And greater than pi over 2, but less than pi, is called obtuse angles. Obtuse angles. Kung less than pi over 2, those are acute angles. But if this greater than pi over 2, but less than pi, those are obtuse angles. Ito na, coterminal, complementary, and supplementary angles. So ito, if two different angles, okay, so let's just name those two unknown angles as alpha and beta, have the same initial and terminal side, they are called coterminal angles. Say, this one. This one. If we have a ray right here, and I mean, if we have this initial side and this is our terminal side, let's just name this one alpha, and let's say this is our initial, and this is our terminal side. Okay. If two different angles, for example, alpha and beta, have the same initial and terminal sides, they are called coterminal angles. How do you imagine this one? If two different angles, how can two different angles have initial and terminal side? You can just rotate and magpasubra pa. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Like for example, if you are on the initial side, amo ni din niya 0. Pag birik niya, that's that one for a whole revolution, and magsubra pa niya, okay? You have the same, basically the same initial side and the same terminal side. But those are different angles because an alpha is just it just started from here up to here. Whereas for your beta, although it started from here, it rotated pa for a whole revolution plus, di ba? Kumbaga 2 pi plus sininga angle alpha. That is your beta.
Yes,
Those
sir.
are,
Yes, sir.
kung same mo initial and terminal side, those are coterminal angles. Same initial and terminal side, those are coterminal angles. So yun. Ito. The sum of two positive angles, alpha and beta, are complementary, meaning the complements of each other, when their sum is pi over 2. Okay. So for this one, if you have two angles naman, say if this is alpha and this one is beta, if the sum kuno of those angles is pi over 2, what is pi over 2? That is 90 degrees. Kumbaga degrees. If the sum of those, alpha plus beta, is equal to pi over 2, meaning those are complementary angles. Whereas, if the sum of two positive angles is pi, those are called supplementary angles. Okay, so for this one naman, if this one is your alpha and this one is your beta, alpha plus beta is equal to pi. Okay, meaning if you try to add the angles alpha and beta, the resulting angle will be equal to pi. Again, complementary kung pi over 2, supplementary kung pi.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dito. Okay, sige. Example. Question number 1. Find the coterminal angle of 13 pi over 6. Find the positive coterminal angle of 13 pi over 6. Okay, how will we going to solve this one? Find the positive coterminal angle. Okay. Yun. Sige. So we are going to find the positive coterminal angle of 13 pi over 6. The definition again of coterminal angles is that they have the same initial and terminal side. But you're going to find the positive coterminal angle. Remember, in our sign convention that for counterclockwise rotation, we have positive, and clockwise rotation, we have negative. This is applicable if you have positive angle. But for negative angle, this will be reversed. If you are going to find the negative coterminal angle for a negative angle, this sign convention will be reversed. But let's just try to answer example number 1. And the question is, how are we going to visualize this one? What is 13 pi over 6? We all know that this is
Question lang po.
0, and we have this one as 2 pi or 90 degrees. I mean, pi over 2, that is 90 degrees. And this one is pi, and this one is 3 pi over 2. And the whole revolution is 2 pi. So for this one, this is 13 pi over 6. Or, if we try to convert this one as a mixed fraction, diba? This is equal actually to 2 plus 1/6. Okay? 2 plus 1/6. If we try to distribute the pi, or the FOIL method, so meron mo 2 pi plus pi over 6. 2 plus 1/6. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1, 13. 13 over 6. Yung gawas ko lang pi, that's basically the same. Meaning, may daniyaw sa ka-revolution 2 pi plus pi over 6 pa. What is pi over 6? If you try to visualize that one, let's just use lang muna pi being equal to 180 degrees. Although this will be discussed later pa. Pi divided by 6. Meaning 180 divided by 6. That is 30 degrees. So it's somewhere here. It's somewhere here. This is pi over 6. But this is also equal to 13 pi over 6. Di ba? Pinagkaiba lang nila, their difference is that pi over 6 started from here up to here. Whereas, your 13 pi over 6 started from here, lumibot iya, tapos, nagsubra pa iya in pi over 6. So, therefore, the positive coterminal angle of 13 pi over 6 is pi over 6. Okay, because we had the clockwise rotation. Okay, a clockwise rotation is positive. So that's why, from our definition that the coterminal angles have the same initial and terminal side, therefore, positive coterminal angle is 13 pi over 6. But if we were asked to find what is the negative coterminal angle of 13 pi over 6, we have to start from here. We have to start from here because again, negative is clockwise rotation, so we have to start from here up to here. Okay, and what is this value? The negative coterminal angle of 13 pi over 6 is baka 2 pi minus pi over 6. What is 2 pi? If we try to convert its denominator to 6,
3.
2 pi is basically the same as 12 pi over 6, right?
Yes, sir.
12 pi over 6, di ba? 2 pi ito. If we try to divide 12 by 6, edi 2. Ibaanan mo yung pi over 6. That is 11 pi over 6. Negative. Negative, yeah, because it is clockwise rotation. Let's move to number 3. Kamu na rin pag-answer. Number 3 is what is the complement of 2 pi over 5? Complement of 2 pi over 5. Okay. The complement of 2 pi over 5 is, ano the definition ng complement? Complementary angles has the sum of the two angles being equal to pi over 2. So, 90 degrees. Okay? 90 degrees. So, ano it complementary angle? It pi over 2. Okay, so let's try to draw muna. What is this angle equal to? Let's try to draw the figure. Pi over 5 or 180 divided by 5. 180 divided by 5, per value. Please compute.
36 po, sir.
36
Pera?
po. 36.
36 point. May point?
No, sir.
36 degrees.
36 degrees. So it's somewhere here gihapon. Somewhere 30 degrees. Somewhere here. And 36, it's sunod 72. 72. And we have somewhere here. And somewhere here. Okay. So this is 0. This is pi over 5. And this is 2 pi over 5. This is 3 pi over 5, 4 pi over 5, and 5 pi over 5. But it's just equal to pi. Question is, what is the complement of 2 pi over 5? Okay. If this angle right here, from here to here, let's just name that angle as alpha. That is angle alpha. The definition of complementary angles is that if you have two angles, alpha and beta, their sum should be equal to pi over 2. Am I right?
Yes,
Complementary angles. Tama, pi over 2. If this angle right here, angle alpha, if you assume alpha being equal to this one, so we have 2 pi over 5 plus beta is equal to pi over 2. Therefore, our beta by algebra is pi over 2 minus 2 pi over 5. What is the value of beta? Sige lang.
Pi over 10.
5 over 10.
Pera?
Pi over
5 over 10.
Pi over 10. Sige lang. Yung algebra. So, if you try to find the least. Okay, and this one, 10 divided by 2, naka 5 pi. And this one, 10 divided by 2 times 2 for 4 pi. So, therefore, you have pi over 10. Okay, correct? That is for your complementary angles. Very easy? Very easy. Okay, sige. Ganito. Okay, so we have 3 problems. So, every one of you should answer these 3 examples. And after 5 minutes, I'll be calling somebody from either of the sections. So, should answer. All of you should answer. Okay? So, again, you have 5 minutes to answer the problem. These 3 problems, your timer starts now. All right. Sige. So, let me call names. Okay. This is at random, ha? So, for number 4, we are asked to find the supplement of 2 pi over 5. So we already know that 2 pi over 5, let's make this one bigger. We'll know that 2 pi over 5 is somewhere here. This is 2 pi over 5. Okay, and we are asked to find the supplement. The supplement naman of 2 pi over 5. So for complement, alpha and beta should be equal to pi over 2. But for the supplement, alpha plus beta should be equal to pi. So if we try to denote this angle being equal to alpha, so alpha plus beta should be equal to, for number 4 for supplement, should be equal to pi. Therefore, beta should be equal to pi minus, what's the value of your angle alpha? That's 2 pi over 5. Okay? So this one is 5, making 5 pi minus 2 pi, then you have 3 pi over 5. So correct. Correct is with. How about number 5? Number 5. We are asked to find naman the complement of 4 pi over 5. So we know that 3 pi over 5 is somewhere here and 4 pi over 5. This is 4 pi over 5. Okay, so somewhere here. This is 4 pi over 5. We are asked to determine its complement. Again, alpha plus beta should be equal to pi over 2 if we are to find the complement. Okay, so alpha plus beta should be equal to pi over 2. And if we try to denote this angle being equal to beta, alpha, being equal to alpha, therefore beta should be equal to pi over 2 minus 3 pi, minus 4 pi over 5. So magiging 10. And this will become 5 pi minus 8, di ba? 8 pi over 10. So negative 3 pi over 10. So the question stands. Is this correct? Is this correct? Is this correct? Negative 3 pi over 10. Remember guys, the limit of your sum of those two angles should be equal only to pi over 2. The limit of the sum of the angles is pi over 2 lang. If you try to visualize the angle, nagsubra na iya pi over 2 or 290 degrees. Nila din yet limit, hit pi over 2. That's somewhere here. But the angle, nagsubra pa, naging lumapos yan pi over 2. So therefore, waray mo dapat complement. Kaya naglapos na yan pi over 2, di rin na applicable. Waray mo na dapat complement. Dapat iti mo answer din is none. Or not applicable. Okay? Kaya naglapos na iya pi over 2. Ano yung mula limit is pi over 2? Your limit is only pi over 2. But your angle far exceeds pi over 2. So therefore, you don't have a complement. Gets? And for the last one, for number 6, what is the supplement of 4 pi over 5? So, if the complement is pi over 2, supplement naman is pi. So if your angle alpha plus beta should be equal to pi, and your beta, therefore your beta should be equal to pi minus, if you try to denote this angle as angle alpha. So this one will be 4 pi over 5 and that's pi over 5. So you have for the angle 4 pi over 5, you have a supplement, but you can't have a complementary angle because it exceeds pi over 2. That's why dapat waray ka complement ito niya. Nuggets? Chicken? Nuggets?
Chicken.
Nuggets.
Sige. Next, we have a degree measure. So we have already finished with the radian measurement. So the another type of measuring your angles is, the another unit of measuring angles is by degrees. So a measure of 1 degree is equivalent to 1 out of 360 of a complete revolution about the vertex. So 360 degrees. Because 2 pi radian corresponds to 1 complete revolution. Therefore, 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi radians. So to convert degrees to radian, multiplied by this one, pi radian over 180. Okay, and to convert naman radian, multiply degrees by 180 over pi radian. Okay, so example number 1, convert 135 degrees into radian. Ano po ba yun eh? So 135 degrees, convert mo ko na radian. Pi radian is equal to 180 degrees. So this degree cancels out. So you have 135 over 180 pi radian. Simplify daw this one.
3 pi over 4.
Over
4.
4.
3 pi over 4 radian. Okay, kamo na din. I'll be calling names. Again, 3 minutes lang. Number 4.
360 degree.
60 degrees.
60 degrees, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very.
90.
Answering me, 2 radians.
Negative 90.
Answering 2 radian. So, pi
90
radian
degrees, sir.
is equal to 180 degrees, di ba?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
So, cancel ang radian. This is 360 over pi. Okay, what is 360 over pi?
2, sir.
360 over pi is
60 over 150.
114.59 degrees. Yung degrees ha. Ang unit niya is in degrees pa nga di. Waraya sumaring nga 2 pi radian. Sumaring laya 2 radian. Ikaw pagpalipat.
Sir, there po 114.65 degrees.
114
64
point.
nga na.
Depende
65 po.
Dependent value pi ngayon mong gamit.
Okay po, sir. 3.4.
Ano complete value pi?
3.4.
14.59.
Man? Try to use that one. 360 divided by that one. Sa
Okay po, yung ginamit ko lang kasi is 3.14 lang.
okay na yun. Okay na yun. Okay na yun. Okay.
Thank you po, sir.
Sige. Next, we have the applications. So, it's pretty useless kung meron mo ito gagamitin. Okay? So, we need to apply those what we have learned. Okay. For the arc length, again, ano ba yan? Pati ako nasabaw na rin. The 1 radian is equal to the ratio between the arc generated divided by its radius. So if the arc generated is equal to its radius, you call that 1 radian, di ba? So if you try to do a cross multiplication from this formula, therefore you can have S is equal to R times theta, wherein your theta is in radian. Okay? Wherein theta is measured in radians. Nuggets? Chicken nuggets. Okay. So S is equal to R sub theta. Okay. Yun. Application agad. Question. A circle has a radius of 4 inches. Find the length of the arc intercepted by a central angle 240 degrees as shown in the figure. Okay, solution. A circle, again, the question goes this way. A circle has a radius of 4 inches, and you are to find the length of the arc intercepted by the central angle, okay, 240 degrees as shown in the figure. Okay, so how are you going to solve this type of problem? Ano niyo pag-solve? Ano niyo pag-find din ng length of arc generated?
Sir, kailangan natin ang 240 degrees i-convert to radians.
Okay, ano? Why?
Para mas masuro sa yun.
So, what are you going to What formula are you going to be using?
Sir.
Sir, S is equals to
S.
2 pi R.
2 pi. This one?
Inference.
This one?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay. Pwede din eh. We can use this one. Pero,
Around 2 pi, sir.
try to look at the figure. You can solve this type of problem without using this one. You can solve this type of problem using what you've learned in your high school. What are the properties of a circle that you've learned in your high school? What are the formulas for a circle that you've learned in your high school?
Circumference
This
po,
one,
sir.
basic. Area is
Area.
equal to 2 pi, area, sorry. Area na nga din. Sorry. Area is equal to pi d squared over 4 or pi r squared. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Or your circumference. Your circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Diba? This is your high school.
Yes, sir.
Let's try to, given man ang radius, let's try to find the circumference. So the circumference is just equal to 2 pi times the radius, which is equal to 4. That is 8 pi. Correct? Correct? And the circumference is for the whole of the circle, di ba? So that is for a 360 degrees circle. You are asked to find this arc right here. You're asked to find the arc. This one. This arc right here. Di ba? Ipapabiling ito ang kahalaba. Pero, maaram ka na. Han kahalabahan ka ng kabugusan. Di ba? Because you know the circumference. Ang kulang na lani mo is kumbaga the distance for this angle. Okay? So, kumbaga diri ka maaramin eh. Yes. Maaram ka 8 pi para 360 degrees, pero diri ka maaram hit 240 degrees. Hindi, ratio and proportion. So, S is over 240 degrees is equal to 8 pi for 360 degrees. So, doing cross multiplication, you just have 240 times 8 pi all over 360. What is S? Miss Compute.
16 point something, sir.
746.
Miss Compute.
16 po, sir. 16 point, ano ito? 16 point.
746.
16 pi over 3 inches.
16.76 inches. Nagets niyo? You don't need to
Yes,
apply
sir.
this one directly. Try to use what you've learned. Okay?
Sir, kung
Cool, may
kita
nakuha guys. Cool.
an arc length na ito.
Okay, so let's try to solve using this one. Let's try to solve using this one. You are to find S, okay, or the length of the arc. You just have to multiply the radius multiplied by its angle. But the angle should be in radian. So we need to convert this one first into radian. So 240 degrees multiplied by 180 degrees for pi radian. Okay, what's this value equal to? 240 pi over 180 radian.
1 and 1/3.
I-exact na lang. I
4
mean,
pi over 3.
improper fraction na lang.
4 pi over 3.
4/3 pi, 4 pi over 3 radian. Remember that in order for us to apply this formula, we need our angle to be in radian. So, naka-radian naman yung adaan. So, S is equal to, what is your radius? R is equal to 4 inches. 4 inches multiplied by your theta. Naka-radian naman. So, 4 pi over 3. Hindi mo na kailangan nagsuratan radian. Naka-radian na yan. Okay? So, therefore, that is 16 pi over 3. Or, this is basically this. Similar to this one. In inches man niya unit niya da. So, inches niya. Nagets?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Nagets?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Question. Ay mas masayon. Ini kung ini. Which one do you prefer?
Masayon.
Sir,
Ani kaduha.
The thing lang for this equation is that this is versatile. Okay, so applicable ito bisan anong angle iti mo gamiton. Okay? So, kung inila kasi, may nagyap limitation ini nga method, ini nga technique. Okay, ma-encounter ito niyo if you try to solve different types of problems. Masasabtan niyo yung di mo ma-apply iti nga mga techniques for this particular type of problem. Okay? Next. Another application is for by the way, do you have any questions?
Ade sir.
Ano? Okay.
Sir,
Ano?
Sir, 240 sir, 240
Ah.
degrees, nam 2/3 lang ng 360 degrees ano. Pwede ka makakuha ng solution sir kung imo na method is circumference multiply by 2/3 sir.
Circumference multiplied by 2/3.
Circumference multiply by 2/3.
Hindi ka man yung 2/3.
Na 240 degrees po sir, na 2/3 ng 360.
Yun nga, you don't know. Ito nga value, you can only know that value if
Given na po.
not necessarily if you try solving it in different ways. Bakit masasabdan lang mo nga may dahil ratio because diba, applicable niya for this one. So if let's try using this different method for this one, makukuha mo ito yung value. Okay? Bakit sulat ba ito ba? Pero if ganito, if you try solving it for the first time, bakit it's your first view of the problem, you can't imagine those values dayon. You don't have that idea right away. Unless you have already solved the problem in another method. Sulat ba ito ba? Kung first view mo para problem, you can't imagine that values dayon unless you have solved that problem. Okay? Next is for linear and angular speed. The next application is for linear and angular speed. Eton. Okay. So this in this type of application, this is very useful when you will encounter differential calculus because this involves time and calculus involves a lot of rate of change with regards to distance or time. So, mo pa yung application. So, for the first application, you have your linear speed v, which is equal to the arc length over the time. Okay, the linear speed v is just equal to arc length over time or your s over the t. Okay, so if you try to consider kung a particle moving at a constant speed along a circular arc, let's try to draw that one. Okay, may dakunan niya sinising a circular path. Okay, if you try to consider a particle moving, at some point it is right here, and may dana niya distance nga na-covered, this is s. Okay, the linear speed v is equal to this one, the arc length niya na-covered with time at a given amount of time. Amunin niya na-cover nga distance at a certain amount of time. So the linear speed is equal to the ratio of that. Kumbaga, distance over time. Distance, which is s over time. Okay? That's your linear speed v. Kumbaga, ano yung physics, x is equals to vt or the velocity times the time. Similar letter yan. S is the distance. Similar letter. And you have the velocity, your linear speed v, and your time t. Okay? In your physics, high school. So, s over t is equals to v. And if you try to extend pa this idea, you can use radian, an aton angle in radian, or the 1 radian, and value natin 1 radian. So if theta is an angle in radian, Remember, in radian measure ha, corresponding to the arc length S, then the angular speed naman, kung kanina, distance natin yung kikita if earlier we are trying to see the relationship between the distance over time naman. So for this one, we are checking what is the rate of change of the angle with respect to time. Central angle over the time. Theta over the time. The angular speed, kanina linear speed is equal to the arc over the time. This one what? The angular speed is equal to the angle measured in radians over the time. Okay? So, for the first formula natin, sabi kita kanina that the distance is equal to the radius multiplied by its angle. The distance covered is equal to the radius multiplied by its angle. If we try to divide both sides, okay, by time, okay, so we have this one. We have this one right here, di ba? That is V. And this one, theta over T, is this one, omega. By the way, this is omega. Therefore, we have the linear speed B is equal to R multiplied by its angular rotation or the angular speed. V is equal to R times W. Wherein, the angular speed again is measured in radian. Naka-radian na ito yung nuggets? Chicken nugget? Actually, dito.
Yes, sir.
Dito. Okay? Example. The second hand of the clock. Let's try to copy the problem in the others. Hindi na ito copy. Picture na lang. So the second hand of the clock. Okay, the question goes this way. The second hand of the clock is 10.2 centimeters long. And as shown in the figure, find the linear speed of the tip of the second hand as it passes through the clock face. Yun. How do we solve this type of problem? Ano't yung bibiling natin din eh? What is asked in the problem for number 1? We are to find the linear speed. Anong formula ng linear speed? We can use V is equal to S over T, di ba? Linear speed. Or we can use V is equal to R times the angular speed. But the angular speed is not given. So we can use this one. How about this one?
Yes.
Can we use this one?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Why? Why? Sige daw. Can we use this first formula?
S is not given, sir.
S is not given. We can find S.
Yes.
Find S.
Okay, clock.
Finding S first, sir.
We can find S.
Finding first the value of S.
How about the time? Was the time given in the problem?
No, sir.
No, sir.
How can we use this one?
There. No, sir.
Oh, what should we do? Yeah, is it? So our radius is equal to 10.2 centimeter. Okay, and we are asked to find the linear speed or V. So V is equal to S over T. But we don't have the time. Diri given ang time. No, diri given ang time. But we can find S. How do we find S? How do we find the arc length?
S is equals to 2 pi times rad R.
S
2 pi times
equal to R secant theta, di ba?
60 seconds at a time.
Okay, no, 60 seconds.
1 minute may 60 seconds.
1 minute, 60 seconds.
Sir,
Oh, ba?
waray man.
920 seconds.
Okay, sige, how do we find the arc length S? What angle should we use? SF. Try to come up with an idea. Doesn't matter if it's weird. Basta idea.
360 degrees, sir, kung pwede lang po.
Why 360 degrees?
Waray man na-specify, sir, kung ano an arc. So, kung mag full revolution ta, sir, pwede ta magamit ang 360. Then, at 360 revolutions na, may either 6 seconds or 60 minutes kung R-hand ka mag-base. Nandun na po yung ibang
Any other idea?
given.
Sir, i-convert na yun to radiant.
Radiant. Radiant Kandire. Ano eh, tunduta.
360 over 1
Radiant
times.
Kandire. Any other idea? Two minutes. Think of an idea, however it may silly it may sound. However silly it may sound.
Amo lagi, sir. Nawawala na.
Come up with an idea, however silly it may seem. Okay na?
Takas na, sir.
So, use what you've learned in your high school or what you've learned in your life to try solving problems. Gamita tanan. Unless, kay kung sumuko ka lang ni Dayon, okay. You only gonna fail when you stop trying. Try and try. Okay, it's 3:29 na. So actually, the idea of using a whole revolution is the most efficient way to solve this problem. Because if you try to consider a whole revolution for the second hand, what is the whole revolution? What's the angle, I mean, of the whole revolution equal to? That is
360.
2 pi. 360 or 2 pi. But in order for us to use this formula, we need our angle to be in radian. Diba? Diba? So therefore, the arc length, kung bagang kabugusan, or the circumference is equal to 2 pi r, where r is in radian, your theta is in radian. So 2 pi multiplied by, what is our r? 10.2 centimeter?
10.2.
So the arc length is equal to how much?
20.4 pi.
20.4 pi centimeter.
Centimeter.
Okay. Since we know that this is a clock, meron kita clock ini, di ba?
Yes, sir.
One revolution of the hour hand
180.
per second. How many
60.
seconds will it take for the second hand to make a complete revolution?
60. Kada mo
60.
So therefore, we're gonna be using time equal to 1 minute. 1 minute, minute to minute. 1 minute or 60 seconds. Or 60 seconds. The problem did not specify on what unit of measurement of time are we going to be using. So it's either a minute or a second, or hour or days, depende na tayo pag-convert. So but it is more sensible kung minute or seconds itatong gamiton. Okay, since we already know and we already now have the time, we can now use this formula right here. Okay, wherein our V is equal to S over T. What is our S? 20.4 pi centimeter all over time. This is 1 minute. Therefore, the linear speed is equal to 20.4 pi centimeter per minute. Or if you try to utilize this one in second, over 60 second, that is, please try to compute this one. 20.4 pi over 60.
1.086 centimeter per second.
1.086 centimeter per second. Both of these are correct. Both of these are correct. Because the problem did not specify on what unit measurement of time are we going to be using.
Kung mag-specify in 1 minute, minute, it will be bilhin sa minute.
Pwede use 1 minute. Use 1 minute. Kung nag-specify a problem. Pero kung wala nag-specify, why are you going to use that one? Okay? Next problem.
Okay, sir.
The next problem is a wind turbine or the windmills. Windmills, wind turbine. Okay. So the question is, the question goes this way. The blade of the wind turbine is 116 feet long. The propeller rotates 15 revolutions per minute. Question is, find the angular speed of the propeller in radians per minute. Ito na. Nag-specify ng problem. And find the linear speed of the tips of the blade. Okay. First, find the angular speed of the propeller in radian per minute. And find the linear speed of the tips of the blade. Okay. So we're going to find pati ako nakalimot, sorry. First, for letter A, we need to find the angular speed in radian per minute. The angular speed in radian per minute. Okay? Radian per minute. And for the letter B, we need to find the linear speed of the tips of the blade. This is for letter A, linear speed. Okay. So, are we going to solve for letter A?
Gamit, sir, formula.
What formula are we going to be using? We have to find the angular speed. The angular speed, omega. So how are we going to find that?
Theta over time.
Try to check what are the given facts in the problem. The blades of the wind turbine are 116 feet long. So, kumbaga, may radius ka na nga daan. Because if you try to, kung nabirik ito therefore, it makes a circle. Diba? So, may naka na radius. You already have a radius. And next, you have actually the speed na. The angular speed. It is in 15 revolutions per minute. 15 kuno kalibot kada minuto. So the question is, find the angular speed of the propeller in radians per minute. Convert this revolution in radian, you have now your answer. Nakuha niyo? Okay, so let's try. So for letter A, we are to find kuno the angular speed in radian per minute. But we are given, nasa rin niya dito nga, the propeller rotates at 15 revolutions per minute. We have 15 revolutions per minute. 15 revolutions per minute. Okay, if you try to convert a revolution in radian, we have 1 revolution is equal to 2 pi radian. Diba? So this one cancels out. So you have 15 multiplied by 2 pi times radian per minute. Okay, what's the answer? 30 pi radian.
30.
30 radian per minute.
30 pi radian per minute. That's it. Ano ito ang letter A? Letter B. What is asked for letter B? We need to find the angular speed. The linear speed. Okay? Linear speed. What's the formula for linear speed? We have V is equal to R times the angular speed. But the angular speed should be measured in radian, di ba? By the way, this is our angular speed. So V is equal to R. What is our R's? 116 feet. Multiplied by 30 pi radian per minute. Pero dapat naka-radian ako niya. So ayun yung paggamitan radian. So dapat 30 pi over 30 pi per minute. 30 pi per minute. Okay. So you'll be left with the units feet per minute. So 116 multiplied by 30 pi feet per minute. Feet per minute. Nagets niyo kung kaya we're not using radian anymore? Because the angular rotation should be in radian na if we're going to utilize this formula. Similar with S is equal to R sub theta, R times theta. Nagamit kita ng angle, naka-radian na ito yung adaan. Because this formula right here is derived from this formula. We just divided time for both sides. Siya naging V, and this one naging angular rotation. So what is this value equal to? 116 multiplied by 30 pi.
10.933 feet.
10.9.
10,933
932.7
feet per minute.
1,930.
Oh, gets?
Yes.
Question. Question. Ano na? Kaya pa? Kaya pa?
Medyo nalag.
Man. Buti pala ito. Kaya pa yan.
Kaya,
Intro pala yun. Intro pala.
Ayan.
May pa-climax.
Oo. Wala nang intro. Okay. Engineering pa. By the way, you are here for training. Kumbaga, we were training you to become an excellent, mga splendid civil engineer in the near future. So in order for you to do that, you must first pass the board examination. So, and in order for you to pass the board examination, you need to master the elements. Kumbaga avatar. Pag-graduate niyo, dapat avatar na kamo. Master na niyo mga elements. Then nga niyo mo master at mga elements. Para hindi ka mo mapasar. Paper din kamo ni avatar ko. Ni Firelord Ozai ngayon. Okay? Sige. Another application. Another application is for the area of a sector of a circle. Okay, for a circle kung of radius r, the area of a sector of a circle with central angle theta is equal to 1/2 times r squared times theta, where again theta is in radians. Radians na yan. 1/2 r squared theta, or pwede mo ito surat, you can rewrite it like this: r squared over times theta over 2, where theta is in radians. It's just the same. Question. Question. So a sprinkler on a golf course fairway sprays water over a distance of 70 feet and rotates 120 degrees. Find the area of the fairway watered by the sprinkler. So say if this is your sprinkler, tapos siyempre naawas itong tubig, di ba? Naawas itong tubig. Wishiw. Tapos nabirik at an angle of 120 degrees. Nag-oscillate ito, yeah. Di rito nabirik, ha? Nag-oscillate. Bibinalik-balik bakat electric fan. Di rin nabirik, na-oscillate. Sanglit, sumaringanit, itiyo, nanay nasin. Yeah. Uy, anak, pabirik at electric fan. Sige, nay, di rin nabirik, nay. Oscillate, nay. Ganon. Okay?
Noted po, sir.
Okay, sige. Dagungida ayun niya. Balito. Joke na. Tumuod. Okay, so you are to find kuno this area right here. Okay? Ano kuno itong area? Sige daw, how are you going to solve this type of problem? How are you going to solve this type of problem? Ano yun? Nasa lang today. The area is equal to 1/2 r squared theta over 2. Can we use this formula right here? Area is equal to 1/2 r squared theta. Can we use this one?
Yes.
Yes, definitely, because we have the angle 120 and we have a radius which is 70 feet. Yeah, but first we need to convert this one into radian. But similar to the first problem, we can utilize ratio and proportion. So we all know that the area of a circle is pi r squared, right? So then substituting the value of r, we have 70 squared. What's this equal to? 4,900 pi? Tama na ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is for, the area of a circle is for the whole of the revolution. So that's 360 degrees. Okay. If we try to do, again, a ratio and proportion, madali lang. 4,900 pi over 360 degrees is equal to, how many natin bibiling area? So the area right there over, what's the angle? 120 degrees. So the area is equal to 120 over 360. The degree cancels out because cross multiplication, maging numerator na ito, yeah. Multiplied by 4,900 pi. What's the value of the area?
5,131.37 square feet.
5,000, pera?
131.
5,131.27
0.27
feet squared.
Oh, yes, sir.
Feet squared. Okay, because this is, the 70 is in feet. Tapos, square mo ito, dapat may feet squared ka nga ba? And, feet squared dapat. Tapos, 120 over 360, the degree cancels out. You'll be left with this unit, feet squared area. How about if you try to utilize this formula right here? Substitution law. But first, you need to convert the angle 120 in radian. So 120 degrees multiplied by 180 degrees per pi radian. So radian cancels out, degree cancels out, you'll be left with radian. So 120 pi over 180 radian. What's this value equal to? Simplify. 120 and 180. 3/4? 3 pi over 4?
2/3, sir.
2/3, sir.
2/3?
2/3.
Yes. 2/3
2 pi over 3 radian. Again, we can utilize this formula right here if our theta is in radian na daan. So area is equal to 1/2 multiplied by r, which is equal to 70 feet. 70 feet squared times this one, angle 2 pi over 3. The area, therefore, is equal to how much? In feet squared. Dapat symmeter.
Yes, sir. Same.
5131.27. Okay? Okay? Chicken? Nuggets?
Nuggets.
Nasa,
Sayun la. Ay, ito niyo.
mga master job, sir. Sama ka.
Dapat maging avatar ka mo. Question? Okay, next. Assignment. Did you understand, Uy?
Yes, sir.
Question.
We understand.
Yes, so far, sir.
Oh, sir.
Okay, question. Wala pa kaya na? Okay, so... Okay, sige.